Hello, everyone. It is Rory here at that Eurovision site, and in this video, I am joined by the lovely Ewan. How are you doing?
I am doing absolutely fabulous today.
Lovely, lovely.
How about yourself?
It's not too bad. I mean, we're getting into winter time now, so I'm just looking forward to just seeing a bit of sun, to be honest.
I mean, it's going to be amazing because you're going to be seeing some sun very soon, aren't you?
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of lucky that you say that because, I will be heading to the country that we'll be discussing in this video literally during the course of the national final. So maybe I'll be there, maybe I won't. Who knows? Keep your fingers crossed. But yes, as you might be able to tell from the sort of title down below, we will be checking out Greece's national final, Ethnikós Telikós, 2025. There isn't a specific name for this, but we're just going to kind of go with it. That's what we're kind of calling it at TES. So if that's not what the actual name is, then well, we're just going to go with it for consistency's sake because who cares? Uh, so yeah,
And
there's.
Eurofans do love incorrectly naming in a national final.
I mean, come on. If it's we're not true Eurovision fans if we don't do it properly. Like if we at least misname it, but misname it right in that way.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, so there's 12 songs competing in this, and in this video we're going to be going through everything. So strap in, have a little, snack if you're ready, because this is the best, most comprehensive introduction to the Greek national final in years. Let's go with that. Right, so let's get straight into it. So there are 12 songs that are going to be competing in this year's selection. And I mean, first off, there even is a selection. This is like the first time since 2017 that Greece has held a national selection. I mean, how nice is that just to have like a whole new selection to kind of just get our teeth stuck into?
It is amazing because Greek national finals and like when I was starting to get in the like early 2010s, they were terrible, but they were also amazing. Like they were the most entertaining, ridiculous spectacles. Even the lowest budget whatsoever. God, I love that shopping center. The lowest budget whatsoever, it would still be an amazing spectacle. And just for those who are not aware of the reference, the 2012 national final was held in the atrium of a still open shopping center in Athens to save on money.
I need to go there purely just for the sake of pilgrimage at this point. Uh,
You need to do the aphrodisiac dance on right under the escalators.
I don't know the dance, to be honest. I'll have to learn it within the next 2 weeks, but we'll see. Um,
It's also great the fact they're hosting an open selection because usually they like would contact a record company, do a deal there, would set some songs, but this is the first time in I think it's 22 years that
yeah,
anyone can send a song. So it's also great because we've not had this level of um engagement with the contest in this way for Greece in God knows so long.
literally. Like I
Like it's
feel
a
like
completely different era of the contest.
yeah, because I mean, like obviously Greece and Eurovision have a bit of a tumultuous history, especially since like what 2016 when they didn't qualify for the first time. Since then, it's a lot rockier. But since then, it's like now that Marina Sati's come back and it's kind of really reinvigorated like interest within Greece. I think it's really shown because I mean there are some very big names that are in this selection and
Hmm.
um I think as well like ERT want to drum up hype and that's why they put it in a theater that can hold about 3,000 people in it in Athens. So like that in itself is already a sign that there is interest and there's a desire to kind of keep up this kind of momentum that's been going on thanks to Zari. Um, I mean, we'll get into the songs themselves in just a second, but I mean, looking at it, I mean, are you surprised at any of the names that have kind of shown up here, or what were the first impressions when you saw the lineup yourself?
Oh my God, it's Konstantinos Christoforou, the man who should have won Eurovision 2005.
Oh no.
Um, sorry?
Oh no.
Look, it
Girl.
was 2005. It was a terrible year. If you're going to have something, it needs to be like a trashy banger about orgasms. Um, Look,
Oh
it
God.
so that was my first thought. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. But then I saw Evangelia and it's like, oh my God, the gays are going to be so ecstatic because I don't know if people remember pre Eleni Ferreira, and it was like, oh my God, it needs to be Eleni Ferreira or Evangelia. And it's like these are like the Greek mothers, and then using the typical, oh my God, it's
That's
hetero
been
speeches
slayed
that
kind
I
of thing.
can't actually use on YouTube. So the fact that we've actually finally got Evangelia with a not bad song, but we'll get to that later. So like, yeah, that was amazing. But there's also loads of names that I have absolutely no idea. Um, the all other ones I know is Kostas Agidis, so it's like that was happy after I was listening to the song. Like, oh wait, I do know him. But yeah, it's also fun to see new names just being promoted by them. So yeah, I was ecstatic seeing this.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the main ones that I knew was again Konstantinos Christoforou and also Evangelia, but that's just because everyone and their mother knows who Evangelia is in this fandom. Like, the duo, like the duet that she did with Amanda Tenfjord, actually kind of slaps, to be honest. I do remember doing an article on that like 2 or 3 years ago when it first came out. Um, but I knew that she was a big name, at least to be rumored for any kind of selection. But then obviously ERT just never went for it, which kind of makes you wonder why. And it's like, hmm. But yeah, obviously Konstantinos, he was in both like representing Greece and Cyprus at different points as well. So like I knew about him. Any of the others, I didn't really have a big sort of idea of who these were, and so it was kind of nice to kind of go through more of like the Greek music scene because you when you have an idea of like what the Greek music scene is, you might think, oh, like how kind of Marina says that there's like these kind of stereotypes of like, oh, it's just like a Zorba the Greek kind of style song when clearly that's just not what the case is. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that there are so many different like people and different genres that are being represented in this selection. It's not just sort of traditional. It's not just sort of pop. There's a nice sort of shift and there's a nice bit of variety in there too, which kind of keeps you on your toes. Which for the first time that a Greek selection is being done since 2017, but with different artists since 2015, which in themselves were all just like generic pop anyway. I think it's nice that they're kind of switching it up a little bit and giving fans a little bit more to kind of chew on. Um, so yeah, so like looking at these songs, right? So we've got 12 different artists here with 12 different songs. Some of them are definitely, from what I've been seeing, been a lot more hyped up than others. Even just a casual glance on, ratings on EurovisionWorld.com, you can tell some of them have like 2 stars, some of them have like 5 stars, like and all these kinds of things. So like look, okay, let's just get straight into it. What are like some of the tracks that really kind of caught your eye then when you first listened to some of these songs?
I feel it was Claudia's Asteromata because she's a name that I like heard people talk about, but I didn't know who she was at all. Like it's not a case of like Evangelia or something like that where you're expecting. So I knew of her, but I kind of thought like, okay, it's just going to be a bit meh. I was pleasantly surprised because usually in the term like, oh my God, pop girly, yes, queens, they tend to not actually have any substance, but there was actually this substance here, so I was really happy that Konstantinos, like to be honest, I was expecting something terrible. So when it came out to be like a good song, I was extremely, extremely happy. Um, like Vale as well. Although I don't know if it's just the track itself, because I feel like a lot of the way that these have been recorded, they aren't necessarily amazing themselves. So Vale, I was a little bit disappointed, but also liked. But I feel you're not going to fully get this until we actually hear it live for the national final. I
Hmm.
feel like so many of these songs are going to be elevated because like half of these songs are fantastic and half of them are not. Shall we? I'll put it politely, but that's what I was expecting Greek national finals. Like they're there to finish something absolutely fantastic, and you've got to wait for the rest. So
Yeah.
I was never going to expecting 12 absolute bangers, but the bangers that they have been fantastic. But yeah, what about you? What were your standouts?
It's so hard because like I went in thinking that after Zari, we were going to get a whole bunch of like really experimental kind of things, like along the same lines. And then I started listening to the songs, and then I soon kind of realized that's not what's happening here. So which it was kind of a little bit of a shock, I guess. But look, listening through to them, I there were some that really did like do pretty well for me. I mean, again, Paradisos from Constantinos and Costas. I mean, for me, that was definitely one of the ones that really did well for me. Clavdia as well, Astromata. I was pleasantly surprised by that one. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, like even lean more into the tradition level, but it kind of didn't go that way. But I was kind of happy about that because it was so pleasant to listen to and very kind of delicate. You didn't want to like slap some extra sort of drums in there or something like that because it could completely. The vibe. I get what you mean by Evangelia though. To me, when I first listened to that song, it was quite like almost what I could imagine like a World Cup song would be like if it was being held in Athens or something like that. And but I think that there's elements of really good stuff that are in there. I think after this selection, I wouldn't say that all of these songs are ready to go. I would say that like, at least, they need to have some kind of revamp in there, but there is a lot of potential there. I also did really like Yimu as well by Kostas Agiris, and Play It as well by Xana Vaksan.
I
Um,
can't believe I forgot to mention Gimu, given that it's literally my favorite ranked for
oh
this
my
for the year.
God, you win. Nah,
Banger.
nah. I mean, this is the thing. Like how you said, there are so many songs in here that actually go really, really hard. And then
Mm.
there are other ones that like don't have as much of an impact, but then have the possibility to do quite well depending on how they do staging. Because I mean, I think staging is one of like Greece's like main strong points at the contest. Like the song not might not always be good, but the way that it's staged, it can really sort of bring it to a new level. And I'm thinking of Stefania here or Amanda Tenfjord.
I
Neither.
am a big Stephania defender, like for her staging, because people criticize that. I thought it was fantastic and because they like being experimental, like making it look as if it's an Instagram live for Zari last year
Yeah,
was fantastic, and I think it really worked. So yeah, like even the worst songs here, I feel can still be massively lifted up, like what you're saying with the staging that Greece is known for.
they'll be going up and down like an elevator. Yeah.
I do actually want to touch on point because you were saying that you were expecting a lot more things, experimental things like Zari, but I kind of wasn't expecting that because those sorts of things I feel they need time in the oven. And this national final, it wasn't really announced with that much notice for actually like building towards what the national final is. So I feel if they continue next year, which hopefully, and I'm expecting them to continue doing this, you're going to see a lot more of that because there's more of the acts rather than thinking, oh, it's an internal selection, let's not bother. They're
Mhm.
thinking, oh, we actually have a chance here, like taking their time to work on something that's very experimental, is very unique, very contemporary Greek music. I feel will shine through in this a lot more than would be than just okay, you've got a couple of months here, send your song now.
Yeah, because I think as well, like when you think about it, it's still quite early in the season. So when this is being like coming out on the 30th of January, um, there will still be at least a month and a bit before the deadline. So they can still like once the song is picked, they can like workshop it a little bit more and just help to elevate some of the levels that like, people who are like Eurovision fans or like even other producers or something like that, they can listen to it and say, okay, maybe this thing needs tweaking just to like give it that little extra finish, that we kind of come to expect now from like Greek songs. Because even for example, like Victor Vernikos, like
I
even
was
though
literally
that,
just thinking the exact same thing. Yeah,
yeah, like even though it's not like a very well crafted song, it still sounded very modern and it still sounded very polished. So I think they could still do something with it. And, obviously giving them music videos as well will also help with that because, at the time of recording, we've not seen any music videos for all of these. These have just been like songs that have just been uploaded with a static image on YouTube. So
I was kind of hoping that they may have gone back to like tradition and have them film music videos in a car park.
no.
I love those.
I mean I get it, but also no. Oh God. If you
Oh, those ones from 2015 where they've not even like properly like blacked out the rest of the car park, so it is literally
you can
just in a
just see
multi-story.
someone else's like Audi in the background or something like that. Like I can't believe that. It's like, oh my God, mom, my car is on TV. You know, so stupid. Um, but then also kind of taking a quick look as well, just at the structure of this selection, because obviously, this isn't a tried and tested format that's been going on. This is all very new. So, we're seeing how it's going to go. So they're doing a 50-50 split between the public and the jury, but the jury itself is being split in half again. So you have 25% of a Greek jury, 25% of an international jury, and then 50% of the public vote. I mean, do you think that that's like a good idea to kind of do in that way? Because a
No.
few other selections have done that.
Luxembourg are doing it with an international. No, no, sorry. Luxembourg had it with their international jurors for the preliminary
Preliminary.
round. No, I hate it. You should not have you shouldn't have international juries on your national jury. If you're just it just appeals to the lowest common denominator, and instead of finding something distinctly uniquely Greek that people can get behind, you'll end up, yes, it's 25%, but you could end up with just something no one really actually is proud to represent because, like, oh well, random Englishman who's on the for some reason on the Greek jury has decided to say, oh, 12 points this absolutely god awful song and ruin everything for everyone. I sorry, it's a long-winded way of saying it. I just hate international jurors in national selections.
Yeah,
It's not for them. They should be picking something authentic, good or bad. It should be a Greek entry decided by Greeks.
yeah. And to be fair, I will say that, like, I mean, the main sort of versions I'm thinking of in that format are both Dora, which have like sort of they did regional juries as well as international juries. And then like last year it was very unanimous for the most part, but then on the in the same breath we're looking at things like Benidorm Fest, which have vastly different opinions, which also count for much more. And then like things like the demoscopic jury, which only counts for 25%, but that's more representative of what a Spanish jury would want, or a Spanish public would want. Um, I think it I think it is good to at least just have like a little bit of a say from outside, but maybe not like have to have as much compared to there. 75% being decided by Greeks, I think is okay. In the vast majority of it being the televote as well, will also put that sort of say like this is in the hands of the Greek people, like this is democracy in action. Um, I'm just I'm just a little nervous to see how it's going to go because there are big names here, and I don't know whether or not, the name will be the thing that gets them the win, if that is the case, or if it will come down to the song and the staging. So, uh, I mean, obviously, look, we're recording this about 3 weeks before the actual show starts, so anything could happen. But um, yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it is pretty good because I mean, who doesn't like a new national final? I think this year we've had like what 20 something selections this year. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, and then I guess like I mean, also we also have some great Eurovision veterans coming back for this as well, hosting because I believe it's supposed to be Sakis Ruvas and Helena Paparizou who are hosting. So that's going to be an interesting mix. Do they like each other? I hope they do.
I hope they do. It's again spectacle. If this is true and they are hosting, um, it's going to be fantastic because Eurovision legends themselves. But the Greece also, not just for hosting, for interval acts, they do have a tendency to bring absolutely fantastic ones. I remember 2013, they had Vicky Leandros singing, doing a duet with Elena Paparizou. And it's like, yes,
What world does that ever
this is
come
spectacle.
together?
Exactly. This is well to take because she is a Greek national. So having them sing a Greek version of her their song winning songs, like yeah, this is amazing. So yeah, I'm so happy and really hope that yeah they're going to be doing some lots of duets together.
Yeah. I mean, I think as well, just in general, the show is going to be really good because, like, at least in terms for the people that show up for it, I mean, maybe the quality might be a little bit off in
Oh,
places.
the quality is going to be absolutely dreadful, and it's going to be amazing because of it.
But that's again, see, this is what I mean. People like fans who are joining the fandom nowadays. And look, I'm gonna sound like so old when I say this, but like, fuck it. Um, when like fans who don't know it from back in the day, like they do not understand how good these absolutely chaotic national finals were back in the day. I'm thinking of like Vidbeer before when it was Vidbeer, like 2012, 2013 level.
Oh, when they had it almost looked like a conference because they had the dining tables with all the
Yeah,
acts around it watching the
yeah,
performances.
that's what I mean. Like, and I can so totally see the same thing happening here, where they're going to try and make it seem really classy, and then it might just turn out really tacky, or they might just kind of resort to it being just like a generic kind of Estilal style, like arena in a, or like, main stage in an arena kind of vibe. But I'm being optimistic, and I really hope that it really works out well for them because who does like again, like I said, a Greek national final is always a good time, you know. Um, and I guess maybe to finish things off, then I'm gonna put you on the spot. Give me who you think will win and who you want to win.
So basing purely on what we've heard already with the audio that's come out from these releases, I think it's going to be Paradisos by Konstantinos Christoforou and Kostas Karafatis because I feel their package is there in terms of vocal quality, sound, and everything. This may not be representative of what actually comes on stage. There is a possibility of Valet maybe winning, but based on what we've heard, I've got to say Paradisos. But I would love Kostas Agiris with Himo. It's so distinctly Greek, but also contemporary in how it is Greek. Um, it would lean into the kitsch without being kitschy. So that's why I would love. But to be honest, I would say that for Paradisos as well. Like it would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think in terms of who will win, as in like predictions, I would probably say either Paredesos or maybe also Asteromata as well. Like from what I've seen from sort of local Greek people, that song has really done quite well in terms of the like domestic market. So I wouldn't be surprised if that did pretty well with the televote. As for ones who I do want it to be, my favorite in this is Xanovas Xan with Play It. I think that's really cool. I think it's a really cool version of the like the kind of the feeling of the Greekness, but still sort of pandering a little bit to an international audience, which I guess you have to do in a way in Eurovision. Um, but I mean, it could go anyway. There's like 4 or 5 songs that are in the running here, at least based on audio. So once we get to see what the actual stage will look like, what the stagings will look like, um, I don't see how it could, I think we'll really find things out on the night. But I think that's good. I think it makes it more interesting because it's not as predictable, you
Yeah,
know.
it's very like you could see something like Odyssey by the Emmys winning as well. Or honestly, to be honest, I could even see Gimo win. Like there's so many realms of like this could happen. And I think running order is going to be massively important to this as well.
Yeah. Well, the running order was done. I should have said this as well. The running order was decided already based on when they submitted the application. So,
Oh,
basically, the order in which they were released is the order, as far as I know, anyway, the order in which they will be performing. So that will maybe play into things unless they have big plans for staging, in which case they might have to change things up a little bit. But who knows at this point? But yeah, so we should probably wrap this up anyway. So, what are your sort of final kind of predictions on what things will be like in Greece, on the 30th of January?
house
Of
in the best possible way.
course. Look, again, they've not done it for nearly a decade now at this point. They're going to be a little bit rusty, but
I
that's
mean, even then, the one in 2017 was It wasn't really a national final. It was here's how amazing Demi is.
I mean, was she really though? I know that I'm gonna get hate for that, but
I thought she was, but yeah, it was and like the weird like, hey, Odessa's a really cool city. So yeah, this is because of course the history of Greek independence there and the being a Greek colony. So yeah, the proper national finals probably in like what 2013.
see, this
Yeah,
is what I
it's
mean.
gonna be
We
tough.
missed on those times. It's so good. Bring I maybe they just need to bring back the shopping mall. If they
Mm.
actually just like ditch the Christmas theater and just go back to the shopping center, I will be there. I will be there. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, so that is everything that we think about Greece's national selection, Ethnikós Telikós. Also, apologies in advance as well for absolutely how shit we're butchering the Greek language, because obviously that's just not how we are. But yeah, tell us, what do you think about some of these songs? Do you think that one other song is going to win? Like who do you think is going to surprise? Who do you think is the most likely to win? Tell us everything what you think down below. Please subscribe, like the video, let us know what you think. This is a conversation, so we all want to know what's going on. And in the meantime, please do continue to follow us on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Tumblr, Blue Sky, whatever social media it is, just chuck it in. Why not? And also check out That You're a Podcast as well, at That You're a Podcast, at That You're a Site as well for everywhere else. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this is all going to turn out. So, shall we say goodbye?
Hi.
Bye.